Today we are taking a look at Marin Kitagawa from My Dress Up Darling. This is the XStellar figure by SEGA. My Dress Up Darling is a romantic comedy series built around cosplay, handmade costume work, and the growing connection between two students whose very different interests gradually begin to overlap. She is the one who brings new ideas, new costumes, and new momentum into the story, and her openness helps push both the relationship and the cosplay side of the series forward. Today's highlights for this figure are the bright smile, the layered swimsuit sculpt, and the pose that makes strong use of Marin's bodyline. The expression is the first thing that gives this figure its identity. One eye stays open while the other closes into a wink, and the mouth opens wide in a cheerful smile, so the face immediately reads as lively rather than calm. That combination makes the figure feel like it is already reacting to someone in front of it instead of simply holding a neutral display pose. The swimsuit is another major point of interest. The top uses multiple layered frills over the cups, and because those layers overlap instead of sitting flat, the chest area gains real depth from the front and from side angles. The thin pink straps and the small tied sections on the bottoms also help keep the design light while still giving the outfit enough structure to stay visually interesting. The pose then ties the whole figure together. One arm lifts high above the head, while the other stays lower and farther back. The torso narrows through the waist, and the legs separate into a long standing line and a bent trailing line behind it. That arrangement keeps the silhouette slim and playful while making the body curve read clearly from top to bottom. This channel brings you figure reviews and anime merchandise updates straight from Japan. If you enjoyed this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe. The face is built around a very direct, cheerful expression. One eye remains open with a pink iris and a bright highlight inside it, while the other eye closes into a wink that sharpens the playful feeling of the pose. The mouth opens wide with a rounded inner shape, which gives the smile much more energy than a small closed mouth expression would. Small white marks beneath the eyes add another layer to the face and help the expression feel even more animated from the front. What makes the face especially effective is how open and immediate it feels. Nothing in the expression is held back. The wink, the wide smile, and the bright eye all work together at once, so the figure gives off a very outgoing impression the moment you look at it. That sense of directness fits the character well and helps the head become an instant focal point even before the rest of the sculpt is taken in. The hair adds a lot to that same sense of movement. The bangs drop forward in separated sections across the forehead, while longer front strands fall down past the face and help frame the expression. Because those front strands sit apart from the main bangs instead of merging into one mass, the face stays open while still feeling properly surrounded by hair. That balance keeps the expression readable from the front without making the hairstyle look too simple. Behind that, the hair is gathered into a high ponytail, and the long tail fans outward rather than hanging straight down. The sculpted strands spread and separate as they move away from the head, which gives the back half of the hairstyle a much lighter and more active feel. What makes it especially effective is the color transition toward the ends, where the yellow shifts into warmer orange-pink tones, so the hair keeps the head silhouette active from every angle. The head also gains extra detail from the ear piercings, which remain visible beside the hair and keep the side view from feeling empty. Taken together, the smile, wink, layered bangs, and spreading ponytail make the entire head area feel lively from top to bottom rather than relying on only one strong feature. The upper body is shaped by a very open arrangement of lines. One arm rises high above the head with 2 fingers extended, while the other arm lowers and stretches away from the torso, so the figure avoids looking closed off even though the body itself stays slim through the center. That upper spread helps the chest and waist remain easy to read from the front. It also gives the figure a strong sense of openness because the pose does not compress the torso or hide the body under overlapping limbs. The chest and stomach area are kept very clear, which is important for the figure's appeal. From the collarbone area down through the center of the torso, the sculpt stays clean and uninterrupted, so the body line can be read in one smooth flow. The waist narrows naturally under the bust, and that transition is what gives the upper half its strongest silhouette. Because the figure does not rely on extra costume layers in this area, the shape of the torso itself becomes one of the main visual features. The bikini top uses thin pink straps and a halter-style layout, but the main volume comes from the layered frills placed over each cup. Those frills step downward in overlapping sections, which gives the top more thickness and shape than a plain smooth surface would. Each side feels built in layers rather than as a single curved shell, and that extra structure makes the chest area look much more dimensional from both the front and angled views. Because the straps stay narrow and the frills carry most of the visual weight, the upper outfit feels light but still detailed. Another strong point is the contrast between the soft body line and the more decorative surface of the bikini. The shoulders, upper chest, and stomach remain smooth and simple, while the frilled cups break that simplicity with repeated edges and layered volume. That difference helps the swimsuit stand out more clearly without making the figure look visually crowded. A bracelet on the raised wrist adds one more small accent near the top of the figure and helps balance the extra detail found in the ear area. As a result, the upper half feels active and decorative where it needs to be, but still clean enough for the overall body line to stay readable. The lower body continues the same clean, minimal outfit approach. The bikini bottoms are compact and simple in front, but the tied sections at the sides give the waist area extra shape and stop the lower half from looking too plain. Those tied details are small, yet they help connect the swimsuit design visually with the layered top above. They also help define the transition from the narrow waist into the hips, which is an important part of how this figure keeps its silhouette attractive. The body line through the hips and thighs is one of the strongest parts of the sculpt. After the waist pulls inward, the form opens back out smoothly through the lower half, so the figure keeps a soft, continuous rhythm rather than breaking into stiff angles. The pose is where the lower half becomes most effective. One leg extends straight down into the base, giving the figure its main vertical line, while the other leg bends back with the knee lifted and the foot pulled upward behind the body. The legs also work well from side views because they do not fall into a flat, parallel arrangement. The straight leg gives the body a firm downward direction, while the bent leg creates a second line that turns backward and upward. That separation adds depth to the lower half and keeps the figure visually interesting when viewed from different angles. It also matches the upper body pose nicely, since the arms and legs both avoid symmetry and help the whole sculpt feel more relaxed and natural. The bare feet work well with the summer styling, and the pink toenails keep the color accents consistent all the way to the bottom. The blue splash base adds an extra sense of motion under the standing foot, making the pose feel more scene-like instead of simply posed on a flat platform. Because the support comes from a water effect base rather than a plain round stand, the lower half finishes with more energy and gives the entire figure a brighter seasonal feel. This figure is approximately 20 centimeters tall. That's about 7.9 inches. For size comparison, here's a 350 milliliter can. That's about 12 ounces in the US. Overall, Marin Kitagawa by SEGA stands out for the way this figure combines a lively facial expression, a light but dimensional swimsuit design, and a flowing full-body pose into one very readable sculpt. The face is one of the strongest elements here. The wink, the open pink eye, and the wide smile immediately establish the mood, and the small white marks beneath the eyes help push the expression even further. Rather than relying on a serious stare or a quiet smile, the figure makes its impact through a very open and playful look. The hair also contributes a lot to the figure's appeal. The forward bangs keep the face framed neatly, while the long ponytail spreads backward in a broad arc that gives the head much more movement. The warm color shift at the ends helps that motion stand out even more and keeps the back view visually active instead of simple. The upper body works because the pose and outfit support each other. The raised arm, the lowered opposite hand, and the narrow waist create a clean line through the torso, while the frilled bikini top adds layered volume exactly where the sculpt needs more visual depth. The thin straps keep the outfit from feeling heavy, so the body line stays clear all the way from the shoulders down through the stomach. The lower half keeps that same balance between simplicity and motion. The tied bikini bottoms, the curve through the hips and thighs, and the contrast between the straight supporting leg and the bent trailing leg all help the figure feel light and active. The feet remain bare, which suits the swimsuit styling well, and the splash base gives the standing leg a more energetic finish at the bottom. What makes the figure especially satisfying is that it does not depend on only one feature. The smile, the ponytail, the frilled top, the slim waist, the bent leg, and the water effect base all contribute to the final impression at the same time. Because of that, people who like my dress-up darling or Marin Kitagawa will definitely enjoy this piece. With that focus, it should feel especially satisfying for collectors who want a figure that clearly brings out her bright expression, playful energy, and flowing silhouette. That's it for this video. If there's any part of the figure you liked, feel free to leave a comment and share your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.